not to put the light in my dog's eyes, but I'm trying to also not give myself jowls. Lighting is tricky. Let's see. Mom's still sleeping. There. Okay. I just saw Scott Finn died. I had to make my video for him. See, I don't want people to think I'm some kind of, well, I am a prude. Only because of discipline. Because my natural drive is basic. I got that Jezebel in me. That, you know, like that, those tendencies I don't have. But we all do. We all have the whole deck of cards in us, see? We're all just a deck of cards. Aces and twos and jacks and queens. We encompass, we're soul sacks that encompass these energies. And then in certain situations, we show up in the card because people have been shuffled. The deck has been shuffled so much that people are showing up. Let's see. If I go here, I need to be the queen when I go to the war, or king when I, whatever. I'm just the joker wherever I go. I'm always the joker. I could play the roles of all the other ones and fit in with all the 2s and 3s and 4s and 5s and 6s and 7s and 8s and 9s and 10s and jacks and queens and kings, but I have no earth, so I'm alien. That's how I look at it. And back in my days, before I turned myself over to the frequential realms, so to speak, gave myself to the ordinance of obedience, and with that comes abstinence. A lot of stuff that's not fun, so people don't do it. And Scott, so when I lived in Omaha, there's times that I used to watch a lot of Corn. I saw, well, unrelated, I saw Corn with a K, the Mid-America Center in Omaha. I was working the event when I was in the Air Force. I never even liked them. I remember calling and leaving somebody that I know that liked them a message, and I'm like, hey, can you tell where I'm at? You know, the good old days. So when I lived in Benson in Omaha, hey, what's up? I used to watch Corn because I'm a highly, I got a high sex drive, but I only share that intimacy with people that I care about. And so that was and I didn't want to buy prostitutes and stuff like that. So that was my alternative. Why am I talking about this? Because there's a whole industry of people that don't have healthy outlets. And then they die when they're 27, like Scott Finn died. I talk about stuff like this because it's shitty and it's hard to talk about, but somebody has to talk about it. In your butt. That's what I say. Butt stuff. Someone that likes butt stuff goes along with the reindeer games. That's so funny. I see a butt stuff bandit. Anyway, so Scott Finn died. He's only 27 years old. So God, he must have been at 17. He was underage. He was so underage. That's like, this world is so gross. In America, they say you go to jail, they put you in cages, and then people get pensions from like poking you like a rat in a cage. You know, like you go to someone's house, you take something of theirs, and you go to jail. And what does America do? They just go into other countries and freaking take people. It's like Lost Be Dead. Like, so you got all the nut job narcissists that are going to see Biff doing what he's doing. I'm so glad I stay home. Because the self will run riot. They're going to be running all over. They already are. I live in New Mexico. Somebody asked me the other day, do you play GTA? I said, no, I live in New Mexico. I live it. Like, it's bumper cars out there. Like, people are disconnected from source. I only have to wipe my mom once. Dude slammed her head in the car door when she was 39. I used those wet wipes for her, but they're cold in the morning. So I found if you run them under warm water, then she doesn't flinch as bad. You obviously have never taken care of another human being. That's why society's falling, because you have all these mental midgets that don't have any practical skills. That say stuff like, poop butt farts are funny. This is America. You ever see Idiocracy? You're like a cast member in that movie. Go watch it. It came out 2007. How many pairs of Crocs do you have? I just want to know that. I don't have one single pair of Crocs. So if you like Crocs, I'm probably not the channel for you. If you like AI, which is a lazy man's tool, I'm probably not the channel for you. If you agree with all the nonsense that narcissist, machismo, men and women, because that energy potential lives in women also, I'm not the channel for you, because I was there on the island of Crete when we bombed Iraq, and that was bullshit. And I've been saying it for 8 years now. What bullshit America is. Man, bullshit. Washington, D.C. and Hollywood are the same. They're all paid actors. Poli-sci classes are acting classes. Play this role. Act like this. Dress this way. Wear this suit. Be a part of this brigade. See, my third eye activated is because I see, what that means is I see through the bullshit. I see that it's not all love and light. I went with that part for the first part of my life. I'm lucky it didn't get me killed. Going along with the men wanted me to do. I almost did porn, whatever the tricksters are saying. I lost my document. Where it's cardstock. How could I lose my cardstock? There it is. I got a story about that. I got props and proof. So when I couldn't pay the VA cut my income, and I couldn't go to work because I couldn't leave mom, because mom wouldn't let the dogs out, and then the dogs would make messes, and then I would get in trouble. But it took me some time to figure that out, because I'd go out and look for jobs and stuff, and I'd come back and she wouldn't have eaten and things like that. And so I remember looking at Craigslist. I'm like, what are the code words? How do you get into pornography? Because I mean, I was 42, but I didn't have a car, and I was really 10, and my muscles, I was a lot more freaking fit than I am now. Although I'm not a slouch, I'm still in pretty okay shape for almost 52. I do better than most people. I maintain most. I'm probably like back when I was in the 10th percentile, or no, the 90th percentile. So I'm like everybody else, or below everybody else is what I was. I was just like, okay, slow and steady wins the race, right? Standing turtles don't run. Anyway, and I never got in the industry. And I have it in me. My birthday is April 9th. I'm born on the same day as Jenna Jameson. You know who she is? Same day, same year. She's what I would have been if I would have lived completely from my ego. So God always made sure I didn't get a part of that stuff, because He wanted me to not be a part of that stuff. But don't judge it and don't look down on it. And there have been times that I've done that. And I'm like, how can you criticize an industry that you tried to be a part of to save your mom? Because that's the same reason why so many people are a part of the sex industry and they're sex workers, is because they're good at it and they get paid a lot for it. And I just don't think that, I think everybody should get paid for just being born, for just living, for breathing. And this whole rat race just needs to get snapped up in a freaking rat trap. And it's happening. So, Rip Scott Finn, I knew who he was. It's always the ones with the sprinkle, little twinkle in there, you know. It's just, people are gonna leave this earth like we ain't never seen. I'm talking about how the earth is evolving into a different version of itself. Therefore, people that live on it need to evolve into a better version of themselves to sustain and live on it. That's what I'm talking about. And being a decent ass person all the while watching everything you love leave. That's the trick. The video game of life. At the end of life, are you sitting in a chair drooling, thinking about, you know, all the self-serving things you know, that's the loop. People get stuck in loops. And I'm seeing it on TikTok and other social medias about, like, that's what they're calling demon possession. Is like people get driven by low frequencies that drive them to do things like if people took their chi, their life force energy, that drive, I don't know, some people are like, I'm horny. Go ride a bike. Go build a house. Go unclog a drain. Go mow an old person's lawn. Go make a meal use that energy and do something useful rather than, you know, rubbing parts against. It's so animalistic. It's like we're supposed to evolve past this, and it just hasn't happened yet. And this is where we are, is where a man is so out of control with power because nobody stops him. And when nobody stops people, they do a little bit more. They take it farther. See? They're, oh, well, nobody stopped me, so I'm going to do this. Nobody stopped me, so the point is we supposed to govern ourselves so we don't need people to stop us. We are supposed to stop ourselves. And people aren't even taught that. I can't believe how much a society is sucked in to video games or TV. They're equally the same. TV for me is background noise. I got Mars and Gemini. I'm constantly moving around. It's hard for me to sit still unless I'm recharging my batteries. And then I get up and I do stuff. So Mom watches TV, but we always watch shows that we always watch because tried and true, you know what to expect. All the stuff they make now. Sometimes I'll try something new, and then it's not often that I get all the way through a whole. And no, I won't watch that. I watched Stranger Things, like the first season it came out. I was like, this is cool, it's different, but it has that Winona Ryder chick in it, and that chick gets on my nerves. Now all these people that were actors when I was younger, they're all child actors, you know. Now I see them, and I'm like, dude, you don't even have your same teeth anymore. You don't even have real teeth anymore. But I'm supposed to believe that the words that come out through your fake teeth are true. So, anyway. I came across this the other day. This is a historical thing. This is a historical thing. I keep little keepsakes. James Dick Martin, 1931 to 2015. I bought the cakes for his wedding. Because it wasn't, I mean, not his wedding. What the heck? Who's getting married? His ceremony to the eternal. It was on Saturday, September 19th, 2015. So where were you then? I sat in rooms where hundreds of people would walk up to greet this man. And I wonder how many people know who he is, like, now that are left. He's highly revered. Like, this is cardstock, the good stuff, right? Born in Asheville, North Carolina in 1931. Veteran of the U.S. Air Force and attended college at George Washington University. Had a long, colorful, sometimes inappropriate, young, timely, successful career in advertising and communications for a variety of radio and television stations. He finished his professional life as the owner of Dico Media, a local audio and video production firm. They went around and they recorded conventions, Alcoholics Anonymous conventions. They would record them and then they would resell them for profit. I always thought that was weird because it's, Alcoholics Anonymous and for fun and for free and all that. Yet he was more than just a successful businessman. After a struggle with alcoholism, he joined Alcoholics Anonymous in 1965 in Washington, D.C. See, it's all a club. Everything is a club. Have a rad day, peace. Everything is a club. Everything is. And when he died, they played the freaking... they had people from Scotland come play the bagpipes. See, that's just Freebase. It's the same stupid club my fucking dad and brother are in. Like, I had to learn to be comfortable wherever I am because I can never get a job again because the name Margie Hessick is blacklisted in the world. And that's okay, because I stay home and take care with mom. So it's, you don't miss something that you don't use. Anyway. He became a national leader in the community, helping thousands of others to find sobriety. He was also a founding member of the Foxhall Group. He was a spiritual, dignified, and proud man who developed his life into helping others, yet he never claimed personal credit, always seeing it at his duty to pass on what he was given. He was also a devoted husband, father, grandfather, and friend to many. Except for the fact he had 3 kids, and I thought that his brother, or his son Jim, who I was friends with, was an only child. Because I don't remember seeing his... it's just so funny how it's like they paint a picture of a person, but then the reality of the other person is so much different. I used to eat dinner with this guy at fucking Italian restaurants in Omaha because my sponsor, her sponsor was Peg Martin, this dude's wife, and they were like, AA gods. Now it's everywhere, so it don't matter. He's dead, so it's all historical events now at any point, at any rate. Above all, Dick was a proud man who, blah, blah, blah. He loved his home group. He loved AA. He enjoyed studying his family history, Civil War, and his stamps. He also loved animals, including some cats. He had a presence that was immensely apparent in any setting. He was like a judgmental racist. He would sit there with his arms crossed, look, and he would tell the dirty jokes, and I was like, ew, you're a dirty old man. Ick. I remember there's a AA conference they had, because they would throw themselves AA conferences, invite speakers from all over the United States, put them up for the weekend so they could record their tapes and then sell them. It's all racketeering, dude. He had a presence, yeah, he did not use his trait to dominate others. No, he just had thugs. He had young thugs that would put people in their place and give shout outs from podiums and, and they're all freaking dirty cops. Like, dirty cops from Philadelphia that are easy to manipulate. But that's all right. You can have whatever you want. Here's a 21-year-old girl, you 40-year-old bastard. Hey, what's up? As many know, he was in slow decline for the past years of life after a mercifully brief battle He passed away in his sleep. His wife, we'd take meetings to him in the old folks home before he died. I got to be in the room with like in the rooms with like the last meetings he had. His wife too. Well, not her last, but when she was in rehab a lot for falling down and Peg not so nimble, Peg not so quick. Peg tripped over the candlestick. He had a profound and positive influence on those who loved him. He was above all a caring human being who strove. He made a group of people that I reached out and I was like, dude, I'm screwed. I need help. And they're like, fuck you. So careful who you pile up with. That's why I don't like clubs, because there's always dirty dicks in the clubs. Not that he was anyway. And then they were talking recently. Somebody was talking about because I got a family. I don't know anything about free. I'm learning about this stuff too as I go along. And they have a humiliation ritual in some fraternities where they tie a ribbon out around their wiener, and then they like have to lay in a coffin as like a death to them old self or some ritualistic bullshit. And Peg tells stories about how he just walked out like that. They were poor starting out, didn't have any money, like, they just met, like new sober kind of thing. Or I think she had more sobriety than him. I don't know, I heard their stories so many times. But Peg was a big old Nebraska Husker fan. And I remember one time she came up after we were walking out after, and she's like, "Hey Marge, what you doing this weekend?" Her voice was real high. She's a Pisces. No, I think she was a Pisces. And I said, and I was like, "Well, I'm not real sure, Peg, And I said, "What's going on?" She's like, "Well, there's a Husker game. You want to come along with me?" And I was like, "Well, actually, that's real nice of you to invite me, and I appreciate that. I don't really like football, so you should probably give that ticket to someone that would, find better use to it." And then, like, I would tell people that Peg invited me to a football game, and I said no, and they're like, "You said no to Peg Mark? You turned down a freaking Husker game with Peg Mark? Oh my, what is wrong with you? Oh my God." Well, I have all this energy, and I would rather use it for practical things and not silly, stupid things. Like sitting, watching people go, the emotional roller coaster and an energy harvesting thing. Anyway, so like I said earlier, Peg was in a wheelchair a lot. She'd fall down. One time she fell down stepping out of the auto body shop, taking her car to the repairman, talking to the mechanic. Stepped out, there was a sheet of ice because they didn't clear the path good enough. I wonder if she ever sued them for that. Probably not, because they're, friends of LW. But anyway. So I was in college at the time in IT, avoiding AI at all costs. And so I'd have to move my schedule around a lot. They started this group in Omaha, and so I'd have to move, and so I was going to this Monday night group for a while, up from where I lived in Bellevue, outside the back gate of Offutt Air Force Base, and Peg and Dick, they would park up on top, and I would greet them. I would show up early, wait for him to show up so I could help him, or just help him. He like this says, he was a proud man, so let him do his shit. Just be there to make sure if he, something happens, you can just support him and helping him do what he, and helping his wife. But I'd help him get the wheelchair out for her, and then take him into the church, put him into the little two-person elevator, and then I'd run outside. freaking run all the way around the church. There was no quick way to get to the back door to greet him and help him out. And this one time, I stepped out of the elevator, and Dick said, and I'm always in such a hurry, and Dick's like, now hold on, just wait a minute. And I was like, okay. So I dialed in with him and became present in the moment with him. And he pulls a bag out of his hand and he tears it open like a little plastic sack. He tears it open. And he grabs one of these and he puts it in my hand. And I open it and I was like, ooh, trinkets. And Peg's like, I think that's the first one he's ever given to anybody. He hasn't even given one to me yet. So I got this. See, so I was like revered in this group, and then all I did was move into Oregon and see things from a different perspective, and all of a sudden, like, people started discounting me. And then that's when I started figuring, I got two of them. They had like two, I don't like this one as much, the black, I don't know. I saw my first fox about 2 months ago, 3 months, no, it's been longer now. No, it's probably been about 3 months, I don't know, time is not something that I grasp, but hold on. So I got this thing from this guy, who the world deems a very important man. But when I asked for help, like the people that he trained all said, did he just all ignored me? And so be careful who you align yourself with, especially in this day and age, because they're all for stuff, you know, like anybody that's for the military in 2026. You really don't know what is going on, huh? It's not evident to you. You don't go into other people's houses and shit on their floor. If people are cognitive enough to even understand that, what use are you? Like, what good are you if people can't live in any sort of life of service? What is even to the point? Doesn't matter. I always have people to help. I got my caramel down. I think today it will be my 4th, 5th, maybe 6th batch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th batch. And my candy thermometer, which I was relying on too heavy, the batteries died. It got all jacked up. Water got, like, steam got in it. Like, it was so I got me one of those UV ones I can point and shoot. I just don't know how, I don't know really much at anything but what I have experienced. And so I overcooked the sugar, so it is burnt. And I forgot vanilla. Although I am so close to perfecting my canna caramel recipe. I'm so excited. And then that's what I do. I hang out at home. I do stuff to help the world. I hang out at home. I get stickers. I don't go out much, and when I do go out, I hand out these stickers to people. So if ever you come around Taos, they're everywhere all over downtown. They're little Easter eggs. I want people to take pictures of them. Hashtag straight people like rainbows too. Yep. Hashtag straight people like rainbows too. Hashtag straight people like rainbows too. Hashtag. It doesn't matter. I talked to nobody for years. I don't care. I don't do these videos for freaking anybody, but these videos, I'm like a radio station. Everybody is like a radio station, okay? And what signal we broadcast is what we contribute to this earth. So I'm not the type of a gal that goes around and subscribes to like a whole bunch of people, although I watch so many people because I'm just an informational sponge. I'm a psychology, I just want to know. I got Scorpio moon, so I just want to know why it is that people do the things that they do, and why it is that they don't change and work harder to change and modify their behavior so they cause less harm. Why do people? Because they hurt. I know why people do everything. Mostly, if I could sit and spend 5 minutes with people, I generally can like have a, because I get screwed over all the time because of my Pisces placements. So I'm the one that will like habitually go back because I'm constantly thinking of different ways to have the platonic or any relation, different. Oh, well, they don't like me when I'm like this, so if I'm like that, no, I'm never lonely. Why would I be lonely? I have every spirit of every ancestor that has ever walked this earth amongst me. If anything, I want them to shh. I know I'm trying. I'm trying to get them to see that if they keep doing these weird behaviors, that ultimately, collectively, the earth is. I had those prolific dreams last night. I have those dreams, and then I see pictures of what I see in my dream on social media of like landslides and in other parts of the world. There's so much false narrative out there. They just have it animated now. But if I look at like the news on how like the fake is coming back around. First movie I ever watched, I was 15, or not first movie I ever watched, but first time I ever hung out with Alice, LSD. Yeah, I got a lot of tattoos. They're just strategically placed, and I don't have any on my face. Because I don't get that. To each his own, though. I got the whole galaxy on me. And the Penrose pattern, that's just for filler that tattoo artists do. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, this one has a cool plastic end. I should swap the ends. The plastic ones hold better. I've done a lot of cool shit. I just don't look at it because I fly under the radar of obscurity. I've only recognized that people that have had some sort of significant event happen in their life, whether they recognize it to be significant, that everybody that comes across my feed is somebody that has something. Yeah. What do you mean? I live everywhere. I live in the no place space. I don't have Earth in my birth chart, so we live off planet, so to speak. These are my interpretations, not built on anything I'm a sum of all parts. I'm a sum of all parts, so leave the rest or take the good and leave the rest. So of 50-50 ego spirit. 49-51. 51 spirit, 49 is ego. So that is why I will give a little less than half of myself, because my birthday is also on 4/9. So that reminds me that if I give more to my experience on this earthly carnation, 51% of who I am, and then hold back 49 for me, then that keeps a balance in me that I don't go out in the world and tilt. Because I'm like one of the military scientific experiments. Well, it's like when I was a little kid, I used to make concoctions. I'd go under the kitchen sink and I'd grab a bunch of stuff and I'd throw it in a bowl. But some of these things had chemical reactions that created toxic gases. Gen X! And that's what people do with themselves, is they go out in the world and they do things. They drink too much, do too many drugs, sit, play video games, don't exercise, and they think about things that aren't related to their present moment. They're thinking about things they're worried about in the future, or they're pissed off about in the past, and that puts out a vibrational frequency within their own environment. I don't think that we get electricity per se so much. And I have an electrical background. I was in the military. Everything's woo woo. All you have to do is imagine it, and it's happened. Washington, D.C. is made at the same time as a sister as Washington, D.C. and Hollywood. They're brothers and sisters. They both exist to create a contrived reality. They're creating reality because they're planting people's seeds and heads in people's heads to say, hey, this is how it is. It was in a movie. And perverts and creeps and nasty dudes are saying things like, oh, I would never do that. They only do that stuff in the movies, like it's a legal defense. My brother he's in the military, and he couldn't hack it. He couldn't hack it. And he was in one of those Dare movies. He was in one of those Dare movies where, they could try, and he went to Europe and went to Amsterdam and wouldn't smoke weed where it's legal because he was trying to get into the FBI. Okay? It's my ancestors were in the room where the freaking Constitution was signed. That is just toilet paper these days. It's just theoretically, in a world where everyone was obedient, this is how things should be. But let's just create systems. Let's just design a whole bee system where where the welfare system isn't really the constituents. The welfare system is actually the employees that make up the agency. Have a rad day. Peace. And that's what I found out to be true. Because most people that are, they had it hard. Like my brother, he had it so hard. He was a Virgo. He was always hiding when scary things were happening. But he has so much resentment. See, Virgo men are women because Virgos is the feminine energy. I am an Aries woman. I encompass, I hold the masculine energy. And people, sometimes me, in my life have had a hard time with that. I used to hate myself because I would deny the masculine energy in me because fucking dudes are jerks. But within resisting my masculine energy, I myself became the machismo. And so I had to learn through a lot of freaking self-discovery on looking inside at what makes me tick. And it makes it harder, even though I get triggered by everything. Like, I don't know if anybody heard that part, but I'm actually a military freaking experiment. They gave me 8 anthrax vaccines. I got 2 at a time, so my endocrine system is fried. So I always got to keep it nice and light. But then I go out in the world and I'm like, this is bullshit. Why are people so dumb? I got a text message from I just spent $3,000 basically for Metric Motors to do my oil pan gasket. And I don't even know, they put new spark plugs in, but they should have put new spark plug wires in too. Because when I had this done, 3 years ago, somebody replaced the spark plug wires and not the spark plugs. And they were finger loose is what Dawn down there said. And they didn't want to make it right. So my car's been dead in the driveway for, I don't know. I don't keep track of time. It's been many, many days. I got one ride to the store on last Saturday, and I hadn't been to the store since probably the weekend before. I've like completely lost track of time. Me and Mom have. But we have what we need. We're making it work. But it's just more examples of when you have groups of people in organization and businesses that are slackers and they do slack work, that it puts a ripple of ick out into the world. It does. And so I get this text. First of all, my name is, if you want to like spell my name, it's spelled Marge or IE. But MARG, I'm not a margarita for short. So Marge, this is the team from Metric Motors. I wanted to make sure our work on your Chevrolet went well. Everything great? Question mark. I said, no, it's in the driveway. Haven't driven it in a week. I have scheduled work elsewhere. Review to follow. Because that's all I can do. I can't get mad anymore. Getting mad puts it spikes my, hey, what's up? It spikes my body, and I can't have a heart attack and die because I got to take care of Mom. Soon as Mom is squared away in heaven, whatever. But I don't have to cut. I'm right. How are you? I wouldn't have to cut a smile on my face because I still got my own. What they call, when they say when people go mad, it's when they get past mad and back to happy is when you got to worry about. So, I'm a peace. I want to keep the peace, but I get so stirred up inside. I just got to keep it nice and light and clown around, but there's so many people in New Mexico that do not have a good sense of humor. Why? Because it's been replaced with bullshit like pride. I can tell. And it's not just New Mexico. I've moved around a lot. I've lived in Arizona. I wasn't around, but I was only in Arizona for 8 weeks. But I did have an address there, so it counts. I tried to get help from a lot of agency there that said, no, you don't qualify. No, you. I swear, man, my name has a black line that says, fuck this bitch. I got unfriended on Instagram from my sister-in-law yesterday. And it was kind of a heart blow, punch to the heart, because that was my only connection besides my heart connection to my niece. Because I'm not allowed to know her because I'm being punished. Because that's just how they operate. Get it where it hurts, And so I went and looked to see if she posted anything, and it said this account is private, and I was like, oh man. So I gotta just let that go. I can't get angry. I can't get mad about stuff, and I need to make a rage room, and then I'll invite the town to come share in releasing the repressions of just being ignored, just shut out from the whole entire family, So, but my horoscope, because I follow astrology, it was funny because I read this and I was like, oh no, what's going to happen today? And then this morning, I took a screenshot and then I read it this morning and to see how it fit into my life. That's how I use astrology. Because I don't want to know what's coming. I just want to know, Marge, today might be a rough one, so you might want to make a batch of caramel or something, do something, treat yourself an extra little nice today, March, and I think we had soaked Mom's feet. So, my horoscope yesterday, ironically enough, Did it change yet? What is it? It's still for yesterday. It's showing up for today. Your unhealthy patterns have roots in your family home. This is after I got unfriended from my sister-in-law. That's what it said. It's so funny. It so cracks me up. As a Pisces Venus, now this is a warning. If you look in your chart, if you got Pisces and Venus, like this could be your potentiality yesterday. Like look in your life, see what happened. You've developed an uncanny ability to merge with your environment. This permeability allows you to feel others deeply, but also to lose yourself inadvertently. The moon is now showing you that healthy boundaries are necessary even with loved ones. Patterns runs deep, but you must distinguish between understanding and enabling. What's the dive deeper? Where's the dive deeper, please? I have like 3 degrees Pisces in Venus. That's a lot of water. Us in Cancer, I got Cancer. I cry a lot. We're in Capricorn season. But I got Lilith in Capricorn, so that's activated. And in the house system, I got Capricorn in 7th and 8th. So we just had this Cancer full moon, so my first and second and rising, so my rising and second house are freaking highly activated. I'm just like, woo. At least hopefully I'm past anyway. Okay, so Pisces. Okay, so just leave formats alone. The dive deeper. Oh, that was the dive deeper. The initial was the way someone treats you today will remind you of home, not the good part. Pay attention to how you respond. It's the same script you learned as a kid. Breaking the pattern starts with recognizing it. So I think that's super rad that I got to break the pattern because I didn't freak out. What time is it? It's only 9 o'clock. Mom already got up, go to the restroom, so she'll sleep for another hour. I was the best man in his wedding. So if that's not some weird... Oh well. I'm gonna call him the betrayer. It just said, because that's a new thing. It's like, name this person. That's the betrayer. You can name characters in your life. That is so funny. This is so many years ago. I will not get to see, if I ever get to see my niece again. If I ever do. I do these videos in hopes that she knows that her auntie Marge loved her very much. And I wasn't such a bad guy. I'm not such a bad guy. People have been painting me as a bad guy for a long, long time. You know. Maybe if Scott Finn would have talked about this stuff, that he would have felt compelled to stay here a little bit longer, you know. But that just makes me sad. That another useless life is lost. It's just, see, it's collateral damage. It's spiritual collateral damage. Every time somebody exits, that doesn't live the full potential of what their life can be. Like, they go off into the no play space on the other side, and they take all that vibrational frequency of anger with them. And then that comes out in like catastrophic events. It comes out in like, you know, freaking governments coming congruently in agreement to do stupid shit just because they saw it in a movie, you know, and they have an idea of how they think that, but they don't even come from healthy places. People that don't, have never missed a meal, don't know what it is to live in squalor, to like have to feel, learn to how to feel good about yourself. But how can you, because your environment doesn't smell good? And then you go to school, and then people say, "Ew, you stink." But like, the laundromat's so far, but mom's saving all the money to buy a bus ticket to make a judge happy that I've never seen, because my grandparents had influence to make life hard for mom. You know, shit rolls downhill, dude. Fucking make a place that it's easier for people. They said I was autistic in 1987, and that's when I put this mask on. I thought they said artistic, and I just learned to be manipulated. I was the mat. Oh, you don't like me like this? Okay. How about if I act like this? Will you like me now? And people are like, ooh. Either like, this is weird, this is unnatural, people shouldn't act like this. Or they're like, ha, I can take advantage of this. So I had to learn how to figure out life on my own. And now, you know, in 2026, there's generations of people that just sat around and played video games. They don't know how to do nothing. You know, in their own little world. All these people are so many people have lived in their own little world, and now you're gonna start finding people are like, well, this isn't serving me. I'm gonna have to go out, you know, because my body's given out and I can't do stuff myself. So I'm gonna have to go out and like build community, just because you're gonna have to find other people to do the stuff that you can't do. I know how to do trades, but my body is falling apart inside. I know it might look alright, but it really is. I have like degenerative arthritis in my spine. I have like, from what happened when I was a 10-month-old baby, like my pelvis knows when the rain's coming. I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm one of those people that when I'm dead, they're gonna be like, well, at least she's finally at peace. But the world didn't do anything to help me create peace and be comfortable while I was here. I just had to learn how to create it in the environment in which I just had to find the cream of the crap in every situation in life, because opportunity has been void in my realm based on the hierarchy of the lineage of my bloodline. And I'm like, and they don't like me because I clown them, because I'm like, dude, y'all are freaking the fraternity of butt stuff. It's all about dominance and control and bullshit with these guys. And I'm all about growing gardens of freaking flower and then making caramel out of the flower in which I grow, and then giving it to people in my community because it makes them feel better and they get good night's sleep. And then when people feel better and get good night's sleep, they wake up and they want to genuinely, authentically want to go out and share that goodness that they have inside them and share it with other people. And they want other people to feel good like them. And that is the magnetics of attraction that I'm trying to find. But all I see is opportunists. All I see is people that are going to let me pick up, and more groups of people that are going to let me pick up the shovel and move dirt while they sit back and go, do you see all the good we're doing? And taking credit for, you know, other groups of people doing the backstaking, painstaking work. And the shift is commencing. And it's going to be different for anybody and everybody. You know, the world's flipping here and there, and you know, it's like the world ending. The world ending is different to every being that's having an experience on this earthly plane. My world ended as it was when I had to have my dog Tucker put down. My whole world, like my patterns, went from taking four dogs out 5 times a day, 4 or 5 times a day, like to what, like it shifted, like so I took up candy making so I could put the love that I had in taking care of them into making doing something else. Because when people don't use their energy wisely, it comes out destructive, and that's what we're seeing. Bunch of machismos, you know, a bunch of Virgo, Pisces, fucking Cancer, Gemini men, just playing out what they saw in the movies, and it's bad acting. It's bad, terrible acting, and the collateral damage will be substantial. It will be, because collateral damage is not just like lives lost over there. It's like the seal has been broken, and nobody's stopping America, you know. But what he don't get is there's like the revolution as I see it coming down the pike is like pride. So nationalism is going to be beginning to create havoc here, because people are from there are going to be here and then get this crazy switch in their brain when they're drunk or under the influence of pride and nationalism, and then just freak out because, you know, they're in the land that attacked their home. Like, we're gonna get all this crazy storylines coming out now. Well, I just get to stay home and make sure I don't keep. I spill more coffee than I drink these days. If I keep it closed, it stays so hot. So I want to cool it down enough to drink it. But if I have open lid coffee, it cools down so fast. And I don't know. It's the coffee conundrum that I have. I have so many conundrums. I think of all the funny little like idiosyncrasies that I have had to adapt and grow with through mom with her traumatic head injury, and like how she's done things. Like, it broke her when we lived in Arizona. That's when she stopped putting toilet paper down the toilet. So, because the lady that we were staying with would freaking have a meltdown on me. But she couldn't understand that mom lives in a loop of like 4 minutes. So I repeat myself often when I'm trying to help her to do something, because if I don't, she stops. She doesn't remember what we're doing. So I'm constant. This is something I've always done ever since I was a 15-year-old girl, and I was teacher walking along the physical therapist, and I said, and he was showing me what to do. So when we're at home, I can, as a 15-year-old girl, I can teach my mom how to learn how to walk again, because a dude that she liked, you know, slammed her head in a car door and cracked her skull so hard that she has a fleshy lump permanent in her brain. I don't know, maybe it's an implant, I don't know. Doctors do whatever they want when you go to sleep. And they're not always ethical. You know, do people even know what ethics are? Are ethics a thing still? Is that like something that because anyway. So there are. The way I look at the demons that walk through the earth is like how we're animated by God's good orderly direction. We're connected to source. We're like Like, I went for a ride in one of those streetcars. Number 10 was the one I rode on in San Francisco, them trolley cars one time. And that's how I look at us humans, is like we're connected to a higher electrical source, and we have free will and how we're going to navigate ourselves through this earthly incarnation in our soul sacks, because our heart beats, and that heartbeat is pulsed by electricity, and that electricity connects us, to thoughts and ideas, you know and there's all kinds of thoughts and ideas. You look at a camera, you set the camera just right, you see like dust particles through. Like, you see, there's so many things that our eyes don't have the eyes to see. So many dimensions, so many. There's like, spirits. They call it schizophrenia. I hate that word, dude. That's just a highly tuned being. You just have to help teach people how to tune it out, that they can. I have such a hard time. When I was in Oregon and I was having a great shift, and I got sober for the second time after going out drinking after 15 years. I was given the grace of a second moment of clarity. And then when I would, because it wasn't just about me. When I stepped out of my ego drives me. Do anything you want to do, Marge. Just do whatever you want to do. Fuck mom. Put mom in a home. Then I'm being like my brother. But when I pushed out of the way and I live for God, which is good orderly direction, that says stop drinking and do everything, be willing to do anything and everything you are possibly can to commit to taking care of her. Because she's your mom and you love her. And she did right by you, so you do right by her, And because you're not mad about stuff that happened when you were a little girl. No. Because if you were, you would just have the same mentality as that little girl. But no, I evolved past that. And so, mom's still happy. She's 75. I don't know how much longer she's going to be here. She's happy while she's here, and she laughs every day. And she wants to be here. And I think we'll go outside, and I see so many people miserable in their own existences because they keep playing the same pattern. They take on these low vibrational frequencies that keeps them in the same thought processes that like, I used to get thoughts. And then later I realized that I'm picking up on the thoughts. Like, I would go to like AA meetings, and I would think about like doing like terrible things. And then later I'm realizing, like, dude, I'm tuning into somebody else. That's why if you're some things about thoughts and frequencies is based on the broader your spectrum, the more you're gonna tune in on this shit. You're gonna, from negativity to light, dark, shadow, and you're gonna know your like, everything's weird. People are freaks. They want to try weird stuff. I used to want to try weird stuff, and then I exercised the Jezebel frequency within me, is what I did. That's why, my heart goes out to Scott Finn and all the folks in the adult underage industry, what they call it, whatever they want, the whatever, it needs to change. People need to, how many people, like, in the adult industry would excel exponentially in things like excavating or landscaping, being creative, like using that outlet to do something that'll create beauty over orgasms. Because as far as I'm concerned, orgasms in 2026 are just like, I think they're a myth. Pretty sure they're a myth. And if they're not a myth, they're generally used as a tool of manipulation to get people to stick around. And if you act this way, or it gives them a free pass to act however they want. Like, they're gonna act like a scumbag trash heap over here, but that's okay, because they'll make you see the stars. Like, I mean, people chasing sensations. People have lived this earthly experience to a point that the whole world is Babylon. It's not just a place, proverbial place in the Bible. The whole world is just chasing. It's just out there just trying to see. I see people out there bouncing up and down, eyes rolling up, and other people are recording them saying, that's demonic. And I'm like, why don't you get out of your car and go pray over that person? Why don't you pray over that person? Help relieve them of their suffering. Like, why are so many people apt to watch people suffer? That's not documentation. Do you have a history? I'm a journalist. I have a whole ass history of freaking been documenting fake wars. But people look at me and they're like, nah, you don't call, like look at me like I'm invisible. I know. Right here, I just have way more life experience than most people. I'm adding another one into the mix. I say that I'm a sum of all parts, and I watch shows based on characters I identify with. And so, like the character, and so I'm adding more. So, back from my history. Historically, I'm a sum of all parts. So, Angela Lansbury. I'd watch shows because Mom and Jerry would always commandeer what we watch on TV. I only had the choice if I'd sit there, if I'd be like, ew, this is boring, and go off and do something else. So most of the time, they were in agreement on their TV shows, and I was odd man out. So I'd go off and draw, or just draw and tune it out and just participate from the outskirts. And so, like, I'm a sum of all parts right here. I got Quincy. I got Angela Lansbury, the murder she typed, Quincy, Bloodhound Gang, that was on 321 Contact, actually. But modern day, we'll just keep it more modern. We got Will Trent, Morgan from High Potential, like all these characters, the seeker, the truth finder. And I've been collecting the truth for almost 51 years solid, almost 52 years. And after all these years, what I'm finding out is I'm only gonna, as long as I keep finding the truth in my own heart, that's like a magnet, and I'm gonna keep throwing out my signal through these videos, and then it finds people that their heart is drawn. That's how people attracts like, but they keep people subdued in things like the NFL and sports. It's just sports and entertainment, religion, politics. They're all to get people to stray from the connection of their heart and source that drives them to just. I love seeing dudes, these big old, if you see them on the street, you put a different outfit on them, they might have, you might have a different, say, you shouldn't judge a book, that's why I'm such a good judge of character, people are, soul sacks are so attention diversion from how people really are and the energy that they hold. And they could really trick you. They really can. But see it dudes with beards. Big old burly dude. Well, he's not real big burly, but I mean, he in a different outfit, and if he didn't say itty bitty titty or you're the precious little kitty and all, talk like that, I want to see everybody get paid by people that bomb places in other countries. If you're gonna, if you're gonna support in death, try and create an equal balance of supporting life, and just, I see people just surviving off cat and dog rescue, and being able to just go down to their city government supply chain houses, where they get all the luxuries of the good shit, and just be able to get drywall. It's this is just, this is for number whatever. I'm doing it for, not even that. You don't even just Go down, get drywall, make a cat, or all the materials you need to make a catio or a cat haven. Especially in places where I live, man, animals are in danger. There's coyotes everywhere. Hell, there's coyotes in San Francisco. They freaking snatch cats up like nothing, you know? People are like, oh, and you see them. I had to unfollow missing animals because it's just like, it doesn't make any sense for people not be have the cognitive awareness to like your cats are food here. They might not. They were okay in your farm in Texas, or your place in Utah, or your fucking your suburb in Arizona or whatever. But in Taos, New Mexico, your dogs and your cats are. And people have a mentality. Oh, because they strayed. They always strayed and slept in hither, dither, and yon, and went out on the person that they with and came home. So that they think that their dog and their cat is just going to come home out of loyalty and allegiance. And I'm just like, can we get past this stupid cousin mentality, please? And this stupid cousin mentality exists everywhere I ever lived. Reading, these are some of the places I lived. Bellevue, Nebraska. Omaha, Nebraska. Wichita Falls, Texas. Lackland, Texas. That's a place that has its own zip code. They have shootings there all the time because Washington, D.C. and Hollywood in the same. These are all places I tried to settle, but I can't seem to make a community because I can't find like-minded, and I go everywhere. So it must be me. It's got to be me. So I keep trying to, okay, well, so I'm just going to go my own solo act, and then I'll invite people into what I'm doing. So I'm trying to get my Suburban in a place where I have a whole-ass kitchen outboarded in the back of my Suburban, where I can have I can pull out a drawer where it has my 15-gallon gas propane tank connected to my 22-inch Blackstone, and I can go where people are sitting around freaking just like hanging on, white knuckling, just like God, praying, God, give me a sign. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna make myself their sign. I'm gonna make them, because I'm like a gourmet cook. It's how we didn't have a lot of food growing up, so I learned to express how I feel about people. My brother went to a wedding when I was in junior high. He was in high school. He went to a wedding. I made him chocolate eclairs. And he was sure to come home and let me know how much everybody loved the chocolate eclairs that he had made. And I was like, what? And he really did take credit for something that I spent hours doing for him. That's the kind of guy he is. But every time, and everybody thinks that's around. He don't have a lot of friends because he don't want people to find out who he is. And the friends that he has they took an oath. The only friends that he has are like, dudes he went to high school with that he invited into his fraternity. He's more loyal to these men. So I don't trust dudes in fraternity because my brother's in one and he has screwed me and mom over time and time again. I know bureaucrats are freaking like dude's a gay guy. Like he has all the markers, all of them, abusive, hates women. Has masculine, presenting spouses. Like, I don't have a chance, so but thanks to my placements, I'm at peace. I'm still at peace. I used to get all twisted like Abbott and Costello. You know who Abbott and Costello is? They're an old comedy team we used to watch. They'd come on Sunday morning, nothing else, and Jerry would always get to pick. So, and we weren't watching TV. He was studying on how to be the straight man. See, because I was autistic. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm the Costello. And he was the Abbott. And so when I go out in the world, I see who the Abbotts are. They're all the same because they all grew up watching Abbott and Costello. The straight man is what they call him. The manipulator. No, come on, Marge, just go along to get along. He cheated at everything from the youngest age. I have a note in my possession that a teacher wrote to my mother when he was in the first grade from Morro Bay Elementary before we moved to Redding. That's how we moved. She picked us up from school one day. We escaped from Morro Bay, California, saying, "I'm sorry, Mrs. Hessick, I will never not put Jerry on the bus again. He was just so convincing in the story that he told." And this is the same kid that grew up to be the man that when I said, "Jerry, please help me find a place to live, I'm scared. I am so scared. We're going to be homeless and I don't know what to do. Please help me." And he nonchalantly, he didn't even skip a beat because he wrote all those stoicism books of detachment. He's a narcissist. They give themselves permission to be a-holes for their own good and their own betterment of themselves. And he said, "No, Mom's your problem." He said, "No, Mom's your problem. I'm going to help you by not helping you." And this is like 2020 when like there's fires all over Oregon. There's like COVID's happening. Like, where the fuck am I going to find a place to live? He could have done it in a snap of a finger. The place he lives is because his fraternity brother said, "Hey, Jerry, come live in this gated community with us. Come on in. Come on in. Jobs? You don't need to fill out an application. You're Jerry Hessick. Come on in." But his sister, Margie, I couldn't get food stamps. Mom couldn't get food stamps in Taos. We couldn't get food stamps. We just always know, "Oh, you don't qualify." Thank goodness for the kindness of strangers. Thank goodness for the kindness of stranger. I will say kindness of stranger. I hope DM's well. It used to be strangers, but people fall off, you know. We're only here for a little while. All planets are energetic potentialities, and we are filled with the energetic potentialities that are guided within us by the planets in stories told in actuality, which is called mythology. But, you know, all Earth is a radio of stories and frequencies, and people tune themselves and align themselves with frequencies that create stories. It's just, we're in an age where they're creating, because they feel so many low frequencies. What's up? They're creating so many catastrophic events with all these shootings because of how they feel inside. They're projecting all of their fear, all of their hate, all of their angst. And they're picking up guns and knives and whatever, lighting things on fire. Like, yet there's still the percentage of the population that is still hanging on to the old program, because they're hanging on to it because they benefit from it, because they're prospering and they don't want to let go from the prosperities that they and the security that they live in based on the old program. 9 to 5, go to college, go to this job, because they're seeing now how all of this is connected. They're starting to see with the Epstein stuff that it's connected to all of the universities. It's not just the one, it's all of what, because he's a derivative. There's like Satan up here on the Gantt chart frequentially of self-will run riot, and they're tracked by all the people that tune in and love the show Lucifer. So there's the ideology. You have the devil on your shoulder, your ego, and your spirit. And then you got the angel and the devil. It's that drive to do whatever you want, which America is built on butt stuff. It is. All those secret meetings in those backdoor rooms. How many people do you think I mean, like, I got, it's just, America is such a, Uncle Sam's a liar. Uncle Sam, and then, but that's the people that are still part of the program. The people that are like, go America, yay bombing them, go wrong thing, go wrong thing, go immoral thing. When the number one universal law all across the whole everything Shabbats is thou shalt not kill. And money's fake. Your currency is what you do with your earthly soul sack. And people are finding like, oh, I guess solo camping in the woods isn't like all la, you know, like Bambi in the woods. Just hear about that lady that got, they say, mauled, maybe. Well, we're going to say it's a cougar attack. Could have been a freaking, you know, a frat boy playing huntsy, hidesy, seekaboos, because that's what frat boys do. They play hunting in the woods. They love to go running in the woods. And then they have hunting reserves that are private, where they can pay. What are they hunting? Oh, what are the storylines coming out now? What happened to all the homeless people? What happens to all those people on the milk cartons? Where did they all go? How come? You see, you know why they say America's such a liar? They say there's what? Let's see. What are they saying today now that it's everything's fake intelligence? Let's see. USA population. Right now they say 300 and they say the is around 343 million. Okay, that's what they say. So they're saying the last time I looked this up was probably 3 years ago, and it was 300. It was like 338 million. Okay, now since then, you had millions and millions and millions of people die from COVID, and then every year you have all the people that die from alcohol because alcohol causes 7 kinds of cancer. Now you have suicide going up. Then you got all the people that ultimately succumb from their untreated STDs. You got all the people that are rotting. So, like, you have all this diminishing population. But if you look on here, the number's going up. I never believed this over what I know to be true in my proximity. And every time I go someplace else, I'm calculating in all the world. You know, like, it never matters how much this out there never it matter. Community is always what matters most. So if you pick out the troubled bratty child and take them out into the wilderness and explain to them how their destructive behavior can ultimately trickle into destruction of all the beauty that is around them, then maybe they don't want to start that. They don't want to see what happens if they don't want to see how much. Teach the young to create over destruct. And then we can ultimately have heaven, a place of beauty on earth, and less city. Dude, you know why they bomb that stuff? So many people, hey, what's up? So many people out there are they're so freaked out about Gaza, the Gaza Strip, okay? People are in peril about, okay, understand they want you to believe that something over there is happening that isn't, things are happening over there, but it's not what you think it is. They have bombing. How long have they been bombing the strip? How long has it been happening? Because it's been happening since I was a little girl, and I was a little girl in the 70s. How long have has the okay, let's say it like this. When did the Gaza Strip conflict begin? No, initially. The modern conflict over the Gaza region from 1948. So that okay, so when was Israel? Wasn't that the same year that Israel was created? The group of machismos. Go back and watch the Rockford Files. Okay? And there's an episode where they have the Aryans. He's a part he some lady hires him to find out what happens to the dude in her. I don't know how, I can't remember how she was related. Mom and I watched it all the time until we got Roku. Then we started watching other stuff. But go back and watch this, and I'll figure out what it is. And it's like he becomes a part of this private club, and they're a bunch of Aryans, and they're all about like being the ultimate human, and vitamins, and which are drugs, and their smoothies and stuff, and he follows this trail of corruption, and they're constantly talking about Freemasons and shit. They didn't change their behaviors back then. They were less secret, because they got to tell you what they're going to do, so they got to tell you they exist, and then they go underground and then do all this stupid shit. So when did Israel become a nation? So in 1948. So this whole conflict for this strip of land happened in the same year. So the conflict started when the Brochismos started. Okay, so do that math on that timeline. So you have a dry erase board, you got a timeline, you got two ends, you got 1948. Israel starts the same time this whole Gaza Strip thing starts, okay? But look at this. Gaza Strip I don't know what that says. Gaza Strip square surface area. The total surface area for the Gaza Strip is approximately 141 to 142 square miles. That's 360 to 365 square kilometers. It's a narrow coastal enclave with the following dimensions. It's about 25 miles long. That is how long. So I live in Taos, New Mexico. I found out my mom was born in Cuesta, New Mexico after we moved here. That is about 25 miles north. Cuesta is from Taos, New Mexico. I ended up 25 miles from where my mother was born after knowing she was adopted but not having any clue where she was coming from. 25 miles. The width, it varies from 3.7 miles to 7.5 miles. So, I am stupid enough to believe, I am that dumb, I am so public school California, that I am going to read the textbooks that my cousins wrote and had such good lives for printing the pages and for designating what the stories are to be true in the textbooks that are distributed all across the United States in the whatever publisher, right? So a strip. So since 1948, they have been bombing a piece of land that is 25 miles long and 7 miles wide. So that's probably from the Gorge Bridge to 64. That's probably, so from Cuesta, New Mexico to Taos, New Mexico, from the Gorge Bridge to the blinking light widthwise is roughly the size of land that they have been bombing for decades. They have been allocated, we've been paid just allocated number, just money, just over there, while people here. It's never been America first, understand? Understand, Washington, D.C. and Hollywood are the same to get you to believe that you need to sacrifice all the comforts and joy in your life for some bleeding heart bullshit over there. And that is what America is. That's about all I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, wait, let me read this. To help conceptualize, Gaza Strip is roughly comparable to the city of Philadelphia, 142 square miles. The city of what I call the city of brotherly butt love, because it's full of Bobby Coils. It's about twice the size of Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., when I was little, see, they want people to have an imagination so they think big, but the world is really a small, small place. When I lived in Omaha, understand, I was in AA. Everywhere I've gone, I just like to meet people. I got a broad spectrum. I'm drawn to frequency, so I want to learn about this and learn about that, and that's how I learn about it, from learning about the people that are from. I learn more about how the people are like. What's up? How generous or selfish people are like, and I'm like, where are you from? Oh, I'm from born and raised. Oh, okay, so everybody is like you in the place that you are born and raised. So you are from a selfish place. I bet you guys have a lot of parades and talk about pride and wave flags because you're proud of stuff, that we do stuff over there when really we go in other people's houses and shit on their floor. That's what really America does. And that's why you got so many, like, veterans like me. I'm not suicidal. I have so much to live for. You know, making mom laugh every day is like my favorite thing. We just... Huh, Ma? You waking up, sweetie? No. What are you thinking today? Let's see. What could we do for breakfast? We could do oatmeal. I could do scrambled eggs. We could do fried eggs, fried egg sandwich. See, Mom doesn't get out much, but she's got so much Sagittarius in her. She's got 5 planets, stellium and Sagittarius, so she is the traveler. So I go out and I travel, and I bring it home, and then so she vicariously gets to travel through my adventures. And so I also... All right, that's about all I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.